Abdusataro Nodirbek, the 17 years World Rapid Chess Champion. Yes, you heard it right. He is the youngest world champion in any format in the history of chess, guys. And I'm really happy to meet him recently in Spanish tournaments. Those tournaments he won. First of all, he played the Elo Brigade tournament, and the second tournament which he won was Sunway Sitges International Chess Tournament. And in both the tournaments, he won in tie breaks. And in this World Championship match also, that is the World Rapid Championship, he won the championship in tie breaks against the World Championship challenger Ian Nepomniachtchi. The game which we are going to see very shortly is very interesting. It had plenty of interesting ideas. We'll be going straight to it. So guys, before we go further, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this video also with your friends. So let's begin. Here Abdusataro started with c4, then knight f6, knight c3, e5. This is the English opening. And just to let you know, if you don't know about this championship, then Abdusataro has already won against Fabiano Caruana and Magnus Carlsen. So it is a well-deserving victory for him. And even Magnus Carlsen also tweeted about him that, okay, it is something great, because 4 players tied for the first place. But according to the rules which were declared before the tournament was played, means announced, it was decided that only top 2 players will be playing in the playoffs to decide the first and the second position. And Magnus Carlsen, because of his lower tiebreak, was ranked 3rd. But okay, it doesn't really matter. Abdusataro really played well, and he really deserves to be the world chess champion. So do write down in the comment section Nodirbek OP or Abdusataro OP, so that you can wish him, and this video will also reach to more people. Okay, knight f3, then knight to c6, e4. I like this move because now white says like, okay, I'm going to control everything in the center of the board, and the d5 square is also under good control. So black plays bishop b4 and he plays d3. Sometimes whenever I look at this kind of games, I feel like what we are going to do with the bishop on e2, means the bishop on light square bishop. But okay, he says like, I'm going to put it on the e2 square, I'm just going to castle and just go for the normal development. And that's what he did. He played d6, then h3. Of course, bishop g4, this kind of idea should be stopped. And here he plays a5, bishop to e2, bishop c5, castles, h6. Well, I just want to tell you one thing, that this is the position which you can get in Italian opening also, Italian game from black side. Okay, the difference is that usually in those opening positions, bishop is on c4 square and the pawn is on c2 square. We are going to see certain transpositions similar to that opening in this game also. Bishop e3 was played, bishop captures e3, f captures e3, and now one good thing happened for white is the rook's file is opened up. And Abdusataro takes advantage of this thing very cleverly. First of all, Nepo castled, and first of all he brings the queen in the game with queen e1. The idea is quite clear. He wants to play queen e3. I put some pressure here. Knight will be going towards the f5 square, and we know this thing that okay, this bishop, although it is not doing exactly anything right now in this position, but maybe bishop g4 can be played and it can be exchanged with the light square bishop which is sitting on the c8 square. So knight e7. Nepo is continuing with the way he has played in his previous World Championship match, the Italian game. You can say like knight e7 and everything, knight h4, knight g6, and of course white should not capture the pawn on g6 square. Here he goes for knight f6, c6 was played, and queen g3. Okay, now there are some annoying threats are there. The knight on g6 is under attack right now, but okay, white is going to play d4, I guess so, or maybe he will play rook f2 followed by rook a f1, and the threat of knight into h6, g into h6 followed by rook into f6 is pretty strong. So black decided to capture the knight on f5, and then rook captures f5. Of course, we are not going to capture ef5 because that will just block the rook's path. Rook f5, the knight h7 went, and now he brings the rook in the game. Now both the rooks are connected with each other. The pawn on f7 is constantly under attack, and here he decided to play queen h4 and exchange the queens, because if you allow more time for white to regroup the pieces, let's suppose if you play some other move rather than queen to h4, then bishop h5 will be played, the pawn knight on g6 will be under attack, and if he moves this thing, then the pawn on g7 is also a little bit weak. So I don't really like the way black has placed his pieces. So he goes for queen h4, and now what will you play? Well, the move which was played by Abdusattor in this position was really interesting. He plays king h2. He senses that thing, that the game is going to be converted into endgame and his king needs to be there. So he plays king h2, a very subtle move. Queen captures g3, king captures g3. Now the king is also the part of the main attacking force, you can say. Knight e7, the rook is under attack, so rook moves back to f2 square, knight to g5, and now he plays h4. The knight goes to e6 square, and now our bishop on e2 is cramped by these pawns. So what to do? We should exchange it with opponent's good piece. Which is the good piece? The knight on e6, which is placed in the center of the board, is actually a good piece. So he goes for bishop g4, of course, with the idea of just capturing the knight there. Nepo decided to move knight c7, which is a very logical decision, and now here Abdusattor came up with a very nice and interesting idea, that is knight a4. It is a very subtle move, because now in this position Abdusattor is threatening knight b6 followed by knight d7, and the rook on f8 will be under attack, and if the rook moves, then the pawn on f7 will be hanging. Very deep idea, isn't it? So that's why he played f6, and now if you are forced to play f6, then you can already understand that black is not doing good in this position. He goes for d4. Of course, you need to open up the position. Rook f d8, rook d2, b5. Okay, black also tries to do something. C captures b5, knight captures b5, and rook c1. Both the white rooks are doing good job here. I will say the pawn on c6 are under attack. Rook a b8. Okay, black says like I'm also going to put some pressure on the b file. Knight c3. Just going for the exchange with this knight. King f7. He tries to bring the king up. h5. No activity whatsoever on this side of the board. Abdusattor is very clean. Knight into c3, rook into c3. Rook b5 has been played. Bishop e2. Okay, the bishop's job on this diagonal is done. Now it's time to switch the sides. So goes for bishop e2, rook b6, bishop c4 check. And this is the point of playing bishop to e2. He wanted not there, sorry. He wanted to be on this diagonal. Now he goes for d5, d captures e5, f captures e5, he captures here, and now here again he plays a very interesting move, that was e4. The point is, you cannot really capture the bishop on c4 because the rook on d8 will be hanging, and of course you cannot capture anything because the pawn is pinned in this position. So the pawn on d5 is likely to be lost very soon. King f6, and he captures the pawn. Knight captures d5, he captures d5. So white is having one extra pawn, and now okay, the game is still not that clear. Means still black can fight on, but okay, he plays rook e3, king h5, rook e5. Now the pawn on d file is clearly a passed pawn, and it is the hero of the game, I will tell you. Okay, king g6, d6 pawn has been moved. The point is, like, if you capture the d6 pawn with your rook, the pawn on a5 will be captured, and these two pawns are pretty strong, and it should give clear winning chances for Abdusattor. So Nepo did not go for this thing. He played a4, but he pushes the pawn to d7 square. King f7, rook f2 check, king g6, rook e7, and now the threat is to play rook f7 followed by capturing the pawn on g7. He plays rook d6, rook comes on the 7th rank, rook d3 check, king f4. He plays rook d8, rook g7 kick, king h5, king f5. Okay, this is the very interesting point which I wanted to tell you, is that now here Abdusattor, of course, in time pressure, missed the mate in 2, that was with rook e5 check, king h4, and rook g4 check was a check and mate. But this is not the first time he missed the checkmate. He missed the checkmate in next 2-3 moves also. It will just blow up your mind. Just be there with me. King f5 he plays. Okay, opponent plays rook b2, and now can you find out the checkmate? Okay, it was again mate in 2 moves, and he missed that thing. He plays rook g8 in this position, but instead of this, rook g5 check, h into g5. Of course, king h4 if you play, then rook e4 is again a checkmate, and if you capture the rook, then rook h7 checkmate was there. But he missed this thing. He plays rook g8, opponent played rook b2. Again, Nepo is also not understanding what to do. The king is stuck in this position. Again, rook g5 check, h5, and rook h7 was a checkmate, but he did not go for this. Rook e1, and okay, rook d5, king f6, and this should be a draw. In this position, he missed the last chance to draw the game. That was with rook d2 check, rook d4 check, means the second rank rook should be coming up. Rook d3, rook e3 if you play, of course everything will be exchanged, and it should be a simple draw. If you moves backward, then it is again a draw, because see, in this position if you capture, then it is a check. King a2 and rook will be capturing the pawn on d7. It should lead to a checkmate. So okay, this was the last few chances in the game, but okay, it was decided after this thing. Check king h2. Here he decided to just wind up the game after d8, rook into d8, rook e5 check, king h4 and g3. In this position, Nepo decided to resign the game, and we got the youngest world rapid chess champion in the history of chess, Abdusataro Nodirbek, because if you capture the pawn on g3 square, then rook e4 check, king needs to move, and then rook will just capture the rook on g3 free of cost. Amazing feat by Abdusataro. Amazing. I am really happy to share this video also. Do like, share and subscribe with your friends also. We will be meeting very soon with tie-break games which I have recorded with lots of content. I'll be waiting for you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.